Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday, July 28th, 2026 edition of Douglas Now Live. I am Robert Preston Jr., live in our Douglas Now studios on West Walker Street here in Douglas. A couple of stories I want to get to today. One of them kind of fun. The other two, maybe not so much. First of all, teachers are back. Today, the first day of school for teachers in the Coffee County school system. They have a couple of days this week, several days of pre-planning. And then they will have some open houses next week. And then school will start. So teachers, their summer's over with. And in fact, the first day of work is coming to a close here in just a few minutes. But students still have about a week before they go back to school. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, summer is over with for all practical purposes. And if you've been outside, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit, weather-wise, summer is far from over, and this warm weather is going to be with us for quite some time. I thought that it might cool off a little bit next week, but it does not appear that it is going to. Top story of the day. This is what our Tuesday morning opened with. Accused murderer from Atkinson County, Pablo Zuriel Miranda, has been captured after his unceremonious escape from the Atkinson County Jail on Sunday morning. I received a message from Sheriff Moore about 8 o'clock this morning with a picture. This picture here of Mr. Miranda handcuffed in the back of a patrol car, and two words: got him. That was what we received. Now, Sheriff Moore has promised more details on what led to Mr. Miranda's apprehension. He has not released those details yet, but all accounts point to the fact that Mr. Miranda never left Atkinson County. He stayed there after he walked off from we say work detail. When I think of work detail, I think of inmates working outside of the jail. He was not off of Atkinson County Jail property, was helping unload some food trays for the jail on Sunday morning. A jailer briefly turned their back. This is according to a statement that Sheriff Moore made yesterday. The jailer turned their back for just an instant, and Mr. Miranda saw his opportunity and took off and managed to stay gone for just about 48 hours before he was caught. Now, what's kind of interesting here is that a lot of folks, and this is why the internet is equal parts fun and frustrating, because a lot of people are armchair quarterbacking what happened, and of course playing sheriff, playing cop, playing legal analyst, Facebook attorney, you name it, what people are doing. And they gave Mr. Miranda way too much credit. Y'all really did. If you were one of those, it was an inside job. He's in Mexico by now. He's done X, Y, and Z. Looks like he was hiding out somewhere. It didn't go very far from the looks of this picture. Now, of course, he does not look at all like he did in the photograph that the sheriff's department released when he escaped. And also, we had a picture on Douglas Now from when he was arrested. He was arrested and charged with murder and aggravated assault in 2024. May 1st, 2024, I believe, was when he was arrested for a murder over in Atkinson County. And yes, this picture looks nothing like the photo that we all had, and the photo that was on the wanted posters. The FBI got involved yesterday, issued a $10,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of Mr. Miranda. Now, let me back up. I say a $10,000 reward. It was a reward up to $10,000. And I don't know what criteria the FBI would use when writing that check, but you kind of got to wonder, did that flush him out? Because the FBI released their poster with the $10,000 reward late yesterday afternoon, early last evening, and then somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 24 hours later, Mr. Miranda had been arrested and returned to jail. But a lot of people were making comments and saying, listen, if I had to look at him, at this picture. If this is what I had to have to identify him, we would have never been able to know who we were looking for. Several people said if they were in a convenience store and saw him come in, they'd walk right past him. And I probably would too. The pictures look nothing alike. Now, the reason I bring that up is because, ladies, for those of you who heavily filter and AI and whatever else your photos, this is what it would be like trying to find you if you went missing, right? Some of the pictures y'all post online look absolutely nothing like you in real life. Not even close. You got to be careful. You got to have some unedited pictures. We got to have something good we can put on your wanted poster so we could actually find you if, in fact, heaven forbid, the need ever arose. But there are people I see online, and I'll say, man, I just saw them at Publix or Chick-fil-A or somewhere like that just a couple of days ago. That ain't what they look like. So you got to be careful with what you do to your photos. But again, I would not have been able to recognize Mr. Miranda if I was looking for the person in the photos. This is not who I would have picked out of a lineup. So there must have been some information that the sheriff's department received regarding his whereabouts, and they went there and were able to take him back into custody. Now, again, Sheriff Moore has not released any details regarding what tips led to his capture, if the reward's going to be awarded, anything like that. He said that details would be forthcoming today. Again, it's almost 2:00. That was about 6 hours ago when I corresponded with the sheriff, and we have not heard anything yet. So hopefully there will be more details coming. But Mr. Miranda is back in custody, and hopefully what will happen moving forward is that Sheriff Moore and the senior staff at the Atkinson County Sheriff's Office will take a look at some of their jail policies and procedures and make sure this doesn't happen again. And it's unfortunate because there are inmates that don't have to be watched as closely as others do. And there are unfortunate circumstances where family members of inmates pass away when they're in custody, and they want to go to the funerals. They want to go be with their families, even if it's only for just a few minutes. And the sheriff's office, I know here in Coffee County, has been very generous with allowing inmates to go to funerals and that kind of thing. But this is one of those deals where, everybody gets cracked down on, all right? Because you can't afford something like this happening. You can't afford to have a serious, violent criminal walking the streets. When it happened here, I don't know, 3 or so years ago, another inmate here at the Coffee County Jail went to a funeral and walked off from the funeral and was gone for a while. It was several months before they captured him, and he also had a violent past, not quite like Mr. Miranda is accused of, but still a violent past. So it's unfortunate that these types of circumstances will keep people from being able to attend funerals, from being able to spend time with their families when their families need them. And, it's kind of like what you hear. You say, this is why we can't have nice things. You can't give anybody any grace sometimes. You can't give people grace because they take advantage of it. And then those who will accept the grace and will handle it appropriately and accordingly often do not get that opportunity because of instances like this. But the good news is that Mr. Miranda is back in custody and, to our knowledge, did not do anything bad while he was out. But again, it's about 14 hours from here to the border. All right. And I talked to some folks this morning. I was asking them, if you wanted to get to Mexico from here, Coffee County, Atkinson County, how quickly could you get there? And if everything worked out right and you had it planned well, you could get across the border in about 14 hours. So he escaped, somewhere maybe 6, 7 a.m. on Sunday. You figure before midnight, he could have been in Mexico and been gone. That to me says he didn't plan it very well. He saw an opportunity, jailer turned her back, saw an opportunity and took off running. And then got gone and figured out, well, what am I going to do now? Now everybody's looking for me. How am I going to get out of here? So again, those of you who said this was some type of criminal mastermind or some kind of inside job, y'all gave him way more credit than he deserves. Way more credit. Thankfully, he was caught without incident. So Pablo Zuriel Miranda back in custody in Atkinson County. Let's talk a little pizza for a second here. Hungry Howie's, this would be a good April Fool's joke, kind of, sort of. All right. Hungry Howie's announced yesterday that they were closing after around 20 years in business. And it was one of our more popular stories on Douglas Now. A lot of people talked about it. A lot of people discussed it. At current count, looking on our Facebook page, which is where the discourse took place, that story has, I know it's got over 200 comments, 280 comments, 441 likes, 123 shares. I'm not going to say it's not true. Technically it is, but there's a little bit of information that that we learned in the aftermath of Hungry Howie's announcing its closing. Now, first of all, you can see the sign here, still there, Hungry Howie's. That sign is not there. Now, what has happened is the franchise agreement that the owners had with Hungry Howie's has apparently expired. This restaurant will continue as a pizza restaurant here on North Peterson Avenue. It is going to continue, but it will not be Hungry Howie's anymore. It is going to be called the 912 Pizza Company. Of course, 912 because that's our area code here in Douglas and Coffee County. So, and they're not going to be closed for very long. They believe the plans are to open up this week, later this week, under the 912 Pizza Company banner. So, the big question is, someone put in the comments if it's been discussed, I have missed it. Will they have the pizza buffet? Because a lot of people commented and said that Hungry Howie's was not the same after they did away with the buffet. And I know we used to go there a little bit. I don't eat like that as much anymore, but I do love pizza. And one of the reasons I don't go to a pizza buffet very often is because I absolutely embarrass myself and eat and eat and eat. And then when I get done with that and I get full, I eat some more just because I want to make sure I get my money's worth. So me not eating at a pizza buffet is not an indictment against that restaurant. It is me preserving my dignity, my self-respect, and what little bit of a waistline I have left. But I loved the pizza buffet at Hungry Howie's. It was fantastic. So when 912 Pizza Company opens, I hope they will have the pizza buffet. Of course, that will simply add to the temptations, the culinary temptations that I already battle each and every day. But yeah, if you're going to bring back the pizza buffet there when it reopens under the new moniker, let me know. So yeah, so the initial report was, and this was based off of Hungry Howie's Facebook page. So people, kind of look at us like, what do you mean they're not closing? Well, they're closing as Hungry Howie's, reopened as 912. When they made the announcement that they were closing as Hungry Howie's, they did not let us know that. But it came out pretty quickly, and a lot of folks discussed it. So it's good to know that the building is not going to be vacant. We're not going to have yet another empty building along that 441 corridor, either on the north or southbound side. So it's pretty cool. And again, Hungry Howie's had a very, very dedicated following, particularly when they had the buffet. So hopefully they will bring that back. But yeah, a lot of people were discussing Hungry Howie's, and it should make the owners feel very optimistic that they have the loyal following that they do. So it's pretty neat. And they used to do some good things with fundraisers, allowing, schools raising money. They would let teachers, cheerleaders, what have you, come in and wait tables, and the money that they collected in tips they were able to use toward the programs and the activities that they were supporting. So those kinds of things are pretty neat. Hungry Howie's always did a really good job of supporting those activities, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, we're glad it's not going away. Hungry Howie's may be going away, but pizza will still be served at this location, just under a new name. So again, we're we're very, very pleased. When I heard that, I thought that's pretty cool. Okay, because I was worried. Like I don't want to see these empty buildings. I don't want to see folks going out of business. I don't want to see folks closing down their livelihoods. And even if you've got a good opportunity, still it's tough. It's tough when when a family has poured that amount of time into a business and then they close it and walk away. So we're glad that's not happening, and it's not happening, but we're very glad that it's not. So yes, 912 Pizza Company coming to the Hungry Howie's location later this week. One more story I want to get to, and then of course we will take a look at our tower cam, which will get a clear view today of what lies east of us, since we're spending a little time together during the day. So I want to get to that here in a few minutes as well. But let's take a break. We'll come back in just a few minutes and talk about the incredibly hot weather that we've got, dangerously hot weather, as it has been most of this summer. So yeah, we got heat advisories out today till 8 p.m. We'll talk about that when we get back. We'll be back in just a second. When someone is injured in an accident, they need three things: answers, a plan, and a legal team they can trust. That's what you get at the law office of Bruce Edwards in Douglas, along with a healthy dose of old school toughness and modern strategy to boot. We are here to help. Give us a call and let us work for you. Looking for design, printing, or shipping solutions? Stop by PostNet in Douglas or Waycross today. From business cards to signs and all small business and personal print projects in between, we've got your back with our full-service printing capabilities. We offer custom packing and shipping options through UPS, FedEx, and the U.S. Postal Service, so you can always choose what works best for you. It is hot outside, extremely hot, dangerously hot. We have a heat advisory in effect right now. It began at 11 a.m., ends tonight at 8 p.m. If you've been outside, usually you could count on it starting to cool off around 6:30. There was a tangible drop in temperatures. We're not seeing that right now in these hot conditions that we've been having this summer. It is staying uncomfortably hot and dangerously hot well past 8 p.m. The heat advisory ends at 8, but it goes well past 8 p.m. even after the sun goes down. High temperatures today, 95 to 100 degrees. The heat index, 108 to 112. This is for all of southeast Georgia and all of northeast Florida. National Weather Service says stay hydrated, limit strenuous time outdoors in the afternoon. If you have AC, use it. Fans may not be adequate. Whose granny's got AC and isn't using it this time of the year? Come on. You got to use it. I used to have elderly relatives who wouldn't turn the heat on in the winter and wouldn't turn the air conditioner on in the summer. Now is not the time for that, right? I know that it is expensive to change the climate, right? You spend time walking through your house, turning off your the lights that are on. We're going to save money. It doesn't cost a lot of money to run lights. That's not where your utility bill is going. It's not to leaving the light on in the hallway or the light on in the bathroom or something like that. It's changing the temperature of the hallway or changing the temperature of the bathroom. That's what costs money. Burning lights, not so much. Trying to change the climate, yeah, that is extremely expensive, both in your house and outside of your house, as we have seen. Wear lightweight, light-colored clothing. Now, this is a map that the National Weather Service released. And I want to thank the city of Douglas for this graphic. They posted this on their Facebook page a couple hours ago. But you can see here what is shown. It said all of northeast Florida and southeast Georgia. Well, you can see down here, over here to Live Oak, down to Ocala. This is not northeast Florida, all right? Not in my mind. You're starting to get down to Ocala. You're getting into central Florida. I don't know where you would draw that line, maybe around Gainesville or so. Everywhere below Gainesville might be central Florida. Maybe it's Ocala. But you can see here that the heat advisory is in effect for areas south of Ocala. So you're getting down into central Florida. And, of course, you're getting out a little bit of southeast Georgia as you start heading back over here to the west, to the north and northwest, and really even over here to the northeast, past past Savannah, up into South Carolina. So we got a lot of hot weather that we're having to deal with. A lot of hot weather. And heat risk, you see right here, heat risk major, really is. It's dangerously hot outside. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get outside, doesn't mean you can't be safe outside. And to some degree by now, we should all, if you work outside and work outside regularly, you should have some heat acclimatization that you have developed over the summer. But still, you got to hydrate, drink water. Be careful with drinking soft drinks and things like that because it has caffeine in it. Caffeine can dehydrate you even further, even though you don't realize it. So water, sports drink, things like that, electrolyte drinks, those will keep you hydrated and keep you moving and keep you safe during this weather. But again, high temperatures, 95 to 100 degrees, heat index up to 112. And once again, the description here and what is shown in this map are two different things. I think it gets outside of southeast Georgia and very much gets outside of northeast Florida, gets down into central Florida. So it's hot, and it's going to be hot like this for the rest of the week. It was supposed to cool off a little bit next week. Thought we would even have some high temperatures in the low 80s at the first part of the week. That has since changed. Going to be maybe mid 80s on Saturday and Sunday with some rain, maybe getting even into some rain on Monday. But beginning on Tuesday and beyond, when everybody goes back to school, we're going to be back up into the 90s. So yeah, we're not going to get much relief for quite some time. So summer is over from an activity standpoint. We're all going back to school next week, but certainly not from a weather standpoint. Speaking of weather, we will take a look at the conditions outside the studio here in just a second. We'll be right back. When someone is injured in an accident, they need three things: answers, a plan, and a legal team they can trust. That's what you get at the law office of Bruce Edwards in Douglas, along with a healthy dose of old school toughness and modern strategy to boot. We are here to help. Give us a call and let us work for you. Looking for design, printing, or shipping solutions? Stop by PostNet in Douglas or Waycross today. From business cards to signs and all small business and personal print projects in between, we've got your back with our full-service printing capabilities. We offer custom packing and shipping options through UPS, FedEx, and the U.S. Postal Service, so you can always choose what works best for you. Welcome back. We just gave a brief weather report on the conditions that we're facing this afternoon. Let's take a look at what it looks like outside. It's so pretty out there. The image belies the dangerous heat that we're currently experiencing. Again, we're looking back to the east here, back toward downtown Douglas. We have a nice wooded area right here. Pretty diverse collection of wildlife that lives in this small patch of woods here located between Walker Street and Highway 206. And also you go back down along the West Gordon Street corridor as well over near West Side School. A lot of crazy animals. I put a camera up out here from time to time, and there's some weird stuff that shows up. But yeah, it's a clear day. It's a beautiful day outside, but it is dangerously hot. So again, if you have to be outside, wear loose, light-colored clothing. Hydrate if you start to feel the effects of heat exhaustion or any kind of heat-related illness. Please get into the shade, cool off, recover. Heat exhaustion can be fatal. It really can, particularly if you have some type of pre-existing health condition, if you are up in age or very young. The troubling part about that statement is I fall into one of those categories, and it's not the very young one. So I have to be especially careful when I'm outside as well. So again, it's a beautiful day, but dangerously hot. So again, take the necessary precautions to make sure that you stay safe during these extremely hot days. Those are our top stories in Douglas and Coffee County on this Tuesday. So again, everyone stay safe, stay diligent, and folks in Atkinson County, you can breathe a sigh of relief. The accused murderer, Pablo Zuriel Miranda, has been arrested. and is back in custody, and hopefully we will not have a repeat of this. I don't think that we will. It is going to be extremely tight and extremely secure around the Atkinson County Jail for the foreseeable future. So again, we're very appreciative that law enforcement never gave up, never quit looking. They stayed diligent, and they were able to catch Mr. Miranda and get him back in custody. If there's any breaking news, we will bring it to you. Of course, stay attuned to the DouglasNow.com website, the DouglasNow.com Facebook page as well. We will be updating stories throughout the day. We have more going on, more that we need to bring to you, and we will be doing that throughout the afternoon. If there's anything major, of course, we will bring that as well. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon. We'll see you next time.